Yo, 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 yo. Let's check audio. How is everyone? Okay, cool. Hello, everyone. Wally Reacts is live again. Tonight, because for me it's night, I'm gonna be watching Unemployed at 55. Now, what do I do? Must be tough. Definitely must be tough. This is a video by Jason Jones. Never seen the video, don't know the guy, but yeah, tough for sure. Okay, in case you haven't watched the markets, they're bloody red, mate. Bloody red. So we're gonna have a look at the markets. If we have some time, we're gonna scroll some exposed too. And yeah, just my take. If you want to jump in the live stream, I know I'm live streaming all by myself for now, but it is what it is. You can't complain. In life, we do what we can with what we have. So, first comment in the chat, you have the link to join. Let me know what your take is about this video and markets, investing, life, whatever you want. I am here for you. Always remember you're not alone. Not sure if my is working, but yeah. Cool. Let's see. And let's add this. Actually, let's show you guys how the market has been doing. This is the stock market for you. And we had some, nothing was really safe, and honestly. Tesla minus 16%. Ooh. Okay, minus 16%. I think they didn't have such a bad shit day for the stock since like 2022 or whatever that was. But Oracle, I think they had the earnings, they had decent earnings. It was minus 7% during market hours. Doing better now. Not that much. I'm not sure if they had the earning call already, but my favorites are pretty much devastated. Palantir, minus 14.49%. Meta, minus 5%. Oh, that's okay. But the lower you go down the curve, like Spotify and all of these other things, down 9%, 10%. Freaking Google is down 5.4% on the day. And because I'm in the period of the market when I just don't check at all, I actually knew it's really crappy when a friend of mine who's mostly investing in like broad indexes, he texted me, he's like, bro, Nasdaq is down 4% on the day, 2.6% down on the S&P 500. It's getting rough out there. It's getting rough. And of course, you wouldn't expect the crypto markets to do better, would you? So Solana, a decent 5%, 5.5% down on the day. All of the others, I'm not even going to look at the small caps. Those are going to be probably bleeding as well. So minus 8%, Aptos minus 6, that's okay, decent. Sui, same thing, minus 7.4. It's a bloodbath out there. Let's keep the favorites. Everything completely and utterly red. BTC is actually recovering a bit. And after hours, I think it's Asian markets that are like trying to save us again. Hopefully it works until the Americans wake up again tomorrow. So we'll see. But other than that, Ethereum, holy shit. Ethereum lost the lead, and as someone would say, Benjamin from Into the Cryptoverse, Ethereum is going home. His version of going home, I think, is close to like, I don't know, 1.5 1.3K for Ethereum. That's still a lot of like downfall to go. So stay away from leverage. If that doesn't tell you anything, just like stay away from leverage. It helps your mental well-being as well. Trust me. I've been there, got burned. Hopefully I learned my lesson. We'll find out. But yeah. We'll go back to X in a bit, but let's react to this guy. Let's see. So, as I said, Jason Jones. Let's give the guy a like. He worked for this a bit, and apparently he's unemployed as well. So this video is just me talking about my current situation. Cool. Let's see if we can learn something from his experience. It's quite shitty to lose your job, and the way the markets are looking and the way the direction of global economy is heading, we might have more and more unemployed people, no matter the age. So let's see his story.
55. I'm 55 and I'm on the scrap heap again. I have been wondering about making this video for a while. I'm really not sure about whether I want to go through with it or even if I'm going to publish it, but I think it's important. It might help some of you out there, and it might even help me. So let's get into it.
That's what I'm hoping through all of these videos.
Almost exactly a year ago.
So that's literally what I'm hoping through all of these videos. Besides the fact that I really want to get used to the idea of being in front of a camera, is the fact that hopefully through these videos I learned something new, and if possible, if anyone actually watches my videos at some point, maybe we all learn from each other, or we all grow as human beings. So let's see, because this kind of things can happen to everyone, and it will actually happen. We're definitely not in the same work environment and society that our parents or our grandparents had, where you start work as at a company, and chances are you're going to kind of retire there as well. That ship sailed a long time ago. So now things are moving fast. You have to train, retrain, move from a job to another. And
I made a video saying, get rid of your boss. And I still stand by that. I was trying to advise and help some others, maybe that younger people, perhaps if you've got the opportunity to go through life without a boss, if you've got a chance, because at some point they will always fuck you over. They will. And I said that because it happened to me after being 12 years with one company. And then I got a job. And guess what? They did it again. I have no idea where this conversation is going to go.
Let's see.
I just want to, I guess, vent a little bit and express.
I'm trying to remember now if I ever got fired. Like actually losing my job, fired. And luckily enough, I don't think I ever got fired so far. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen to me. But everywhere I left from, okay, fine, 95% of the places that I worked for so far, I've always been the one who gave my notice or quit completely without notice, depending on the situation. And still, most of the jobs that I left, I think I left enough wiggle room or room for a hat and respect and open heart and so on, that not now, but in that period, if I would have wanted to go back to the job, probably I would have been welcomed, and it actually happened. Yeah, It actually happened 2 times that I left a place of work, and after a specific amount of time, I actually wanted to go back and was more than happily welcomed with open arms. So I haven't been fired yet. I still have a feeling I might end up being fired from the job that I'm doing now. And in all honesty, I wouldn't blame my boss for doing that, even though I'm self-employed, but I only have one client, if I can say so. So let's see. I'll take this video as a lesson for myself as well. I think I might have enough to learn from it.
How I feel at the moment, which is not in a great place. You know, when you're 55 and you've been chucked on the scrap heap again,
It's getting
tough,
harder
man.
and harder.
It's really
to come
tough,
back.
you know. World out there is getting harder. It should be getting easier as you get older in life, but doesn't always
Not
work
really.
that way, does it? Apparently, I thought it would. You know, you work hard, you get somewhere, you make some progress, or you try to, and then things start to level off. They get a little bit easier, bit by bit, and you start to wind down, relax a little bit. But instead, the state on this country means that you just have to work harder. You have to try harder. You have to start again. You have to reinvent yourself again.
You have to work until
And
you
you know
end up
what?
like this.
That just gets harder and more tiring as time goes on.
Okay, and that's why I am an advocate for sort out your finances, learn how to invest. Stacking cash is not going to help you. Your cash will get eaten by inflation. It's going to get decimated. And if you don't have a smidge, at least, of financial education, you're going to go through life, you're going to work your ass off, and definitely you're not going to have anything to show for it at the end. And even if you buy a nice car or a nice jacket or a nice whatever, cool glasses or all of that shit, that's not going to mean shit if you're jobless and with no savings, with no investments, with no nothing. And it doesn't necessarily have to be his case, like being fired. It can be my case where I just got sick and that was it. So, and same thing, you have to learn new things. You have to get used to talk in front of a camera in my case, or things like that.
It's not your jacket, is it?
No, it's not.
Here, look, little green jacket,
Oh, no,
dog jacket.
No, it's not. Thank you, though.
Okay. Well, there must be something about this spot. This is the very spot that I started that last video last year. Get rid of your boss. You don't need a boss. Of course.
Some people do need a boss, because I heard this shit with, not shit, but this wave with everyone has to be their own boss and everyone is going to be entrepreneur and everyone is going to be whatever and independent financially, all of these things. Not everyone is built like that. Not everyone wants that. Not everyone wants to own their own business. And as long as you don't have like AI agents everywhere and robots everywhere, if everyone is going to be a boss, who's going to work for you? Are we all going to be self-employed for who? You need customers, and those are your bosses in a way, right? Like in my case, I am self-employed, but I do have a boss, or I have a client that I have to respond to all the time. Where there was one a good mate of mine, a good friend. He's really good at what he's doing. And now he's getting warmed up to the idea of maybe he's going to open something for himself. But most of the time, and years ago, we were talking about him opening a company in his line of field. So I think he's doing like geodetecting and all of these things. And his reasoning for not going on his own was the fact that he would have nightmares that if he makes a bad decision with the company, the lives of his employees and the livelihoods of his employees are going to haunt him. And having that stress for him, it was enough to say, you know what, I'm much happier as an employee. Good part for him is he is investing pretty much everything that he has left at the end of the month. And like he's saying, even with the downturns in the markets now, he's like, yo, you know, Wally, I suffer from the infinite glitch of money, because every month he gets the payday. Every month he gets the payday, and he invests most of what's left after his expenses and so on. So the basic rule of life: earn more than you spend, invest what you can, and maybe it's going to help you and make you more relaxed when you end up in a situation where you get fired at 55. And I know I'm blabbering a lot, but let's let the guy say what he wants to say.
So you will need a boss at some point in life, you know, getting a job, guiding you through getting started. You might need a bit of that, unless you're one of the very lucky ones who manages to get through life without having a boss somehow. I have no possible idea how that can happen, but when you've got one, there's a good chance that somehow or other something will go wrong, and then you might not get any warning when that's going to come, and then they can just pull the plug and it's all over, just like that. This year when it's happened to me, all over again, nothing. 1 week, done. And it's terrifying, actually. It's scary, because when you're young, you can bounce back a lot, you know? You can go back out there, start looking for jobs. People want people in their 30s and stuff, or 40s maybe even, you know, with plenty of years left in them to get a job and do the work. But as you get in your 50s, that gets harder, I think. And that's what I've come to realize, because I bounced back a lot years ago. But at the moment, it's much harder to do that for a number of reasons. One, the bouncing back process takes time and energy from yourself. Now, I'm pretty young of mind and energetic and all that, but
good for
when
him.
you do it so many times in your life, it's like, I thought I was done with all this. I thought this whole reinventing yourself and starting again was kind of over, and I could just settle a little bit now and just relax a bit and, you know, go through life a bit easier. But all of a sudden, you've got to start again, dig deep, revisit yourself, and reinvent yourself.
And adjust to the new market conditions and figure out what you want to do if you can't really do it in the same area as before. Had to give up on the industry that I loved, which was hospitality. Started working in social media marketing, which, I'll be honest, I'm fully aware it doesn't really make sense for me, because I'm not a social media fan. And as long as I haven't written posts for myself, it was, and still is, after 1 year, something quite hard to reinvent myself from a Neanderthal to a social media guy. And now, because I think things will get worse, not only in UK, but everywhere around the world. And you can already see that. I think what was holding us from a massive global recession probably was America. But let's see if Trump and Jerome Powell can get to an agreement or something. Otherwise, things might get shitty there as well. So, is it this year that we're going to have a recession? Is it next year? At some point, it will come, and loads of jobs are going to be lost. And I wouldn't, because I think a lot of people are like, oh no, but it's okay because they're going to come and give us stimulus checks and all of that. Yeah, I wouldn't bet on it. I definitely wouldn't bet on having exactly the same thing like in the pandemic, because the new generations think that the recession means the 2 weeks, 1 month recession that we had during the pandemic, and a lot of people got free money and let's move on. I don't think it's going to be like that. So that's why I'm trying to get used to speaking in front of a camera. Maybe build a community. Hopefully, you never know. I'm definitely not making enough money anyway. I would really love to buy the dip, but I have to pay bills as well. So yeah, but reinventing yourself becomes harder and harder. I can feel it on my own.
It's bloody tough, you know. It's really tough. The problem with this sort of thing is it gives you confidence a good old knock, you know, and that makes it hard, you know. And let's have a little seat here on this bench. That bench, in fact. Fancy walking through the mud. I've got to find a way out of this rat race somehow.
We have to.
A year ago,
somehow
I was starting my new YouTube channel, Scuzzy London. It's on the other side. And I thought, great, ever the optimist, 6 months, 9 months, and I'll be up and running. And I'll be, you know, a little bit of money might be trickling in. It might take 9 months. Maybe it'll take a year. Yeah, right. Then I very quickly realized this is going to take a lot more than a year. Never mind, I've committed to it. I'm still working on it. Feel free to go over there, give it a look, give it a like, subscribe, and all that stuff. Anyway, it was not the golden egg I thought it was going to be. But with my tenacity, I'm going to stick at it anyway, regardless. You don't get a year into something, or nearly a year, just to pack it in. You've got to give it a good go. So I didn't know this was coming at that time, but I was setting it up in the background. And now I've got to start again. 55, no money coming in, at a bit of a loss, don't know what to do, bit depressed. I have my up and down days. I'm not in a terrible position. There are people out there in much worse positions, I know. It doesn't help. Oh, you want to throw that for you?
Yeah, I know, and everyone is telling you that. It's like, you know what? Someone has it harder than you. When you're going through shit times, trust me, and you have to pay your own bills, and you have to, 55, maybe having kids, possibly a wife, a mortgage, and all of those responsibilities, trust me, the last person you want to think about is someone else. It's like everyone sees their own problems and feels their own pains. And it's hard to believe it, but it's true and it kind of makes sense.
Oh, there's the slow one bringing up the rear. Ball games are over. You know what I'd love to do? I would love to completely change direction. Again, 55. How did this happen? Creeps up on you, you know? To keep yourself fit, you feel young all the time, which is brilliant. Also has its downsides, because you think you're young all the time, and you're not. People look at you and your CV, maybe, I know they shouldn't do this, but they do, and they think, oh, yeah, great, but we're only going to get a few more years out of him or something, or who knows what they think. At the end of the day, if somebody else is 30 or 35 or even 40 and they're going for the same job, what are the chances they're going to get it instead? Especially if it's something physical. Where was I going with that? There's ADHD when you get yourself distracted all the time.
I would definitely lose to the physical at the moment. So trust me, if we both have to compete on a physical job, you would probably get it. As long as it's not involving me standing in a chair, you can't have the upper leg. No pun intended.
Fine. Because if that's the case, I bloody well got it.
Yeah, the guy is cycling and stuff.
So what is the big problem for me? The big problem is the sense of loss and loss of direction, of emptiness, of not being part of something, not doing something to help myself. You know, not working is it's a terrible feeling if you're used to it, if that's what you know, if you're a worker, and you should be really. Never been one of those to sit around and sit on the dole, or even just saying it just fills me full of dread. I'm at a real crossroads, and I don't know how to change direction, really. It's really difficult. I feel like this is an opportunity in a way that I could do something with. In an ideal world, I would not have a boss, and I would have multiple streams of income. I'd be selling some photography on the picture libraries, which I do. I'd have a successful YouTube channel that was working. Scuzzy London, check that out. It's a lot more positive than this. None of this stuff on there. Maybe not the right niche, that. I might have just misjudged that niche, but there you go. I'd need 3 or 4 streams of income. That would be an ideal situation for me. You'd get variety, creativity. You know, you could be pursuing things you love, therefore you'd be enthusiastic about them. You wouldn't be working for the man. You'd be working for yourself, in control of your own destiny. Ah, sounds like heaven. I'm trying to make that work. I'm really trying to make that work. But it's hard.
3 streams of income. So income from dividends, income from real estate, and that's getting a bit dodgy in UK, especially if you're starting. Like the simple guys, you can barely afford to get on the property ladder for yourself. Otherwise, I'm not even going to go on the idea of like for others to buy more houses, like a buy-to-let property or something like that. That's getting more and more difficult. Not necessarily for the profits part, but you have the regulation, and when you're just starting, I don't know, it's getting harder and harder, I think. Harder to evict tenants, harder to do anything. Crypto, staking. So you would have staking, let's say staking Solana, staking Ethereum if you can. Cardano, I heard, is really good for staking as well. You can get some like passive income streams, definitely from investing.
Harder. The competition is massive out there. I see all these YouTube videos and they bother me a bit because it's people talking about, oh, this side hustle, that side hustle, make $10,000 a day, whatever, make $8,000 a day. It's all bullshit. I'm sure it is. You know, are these people real? Are they just going for the clickbait stuff? I don't know if I believe all that. I just don't see how it's
investing
possible.
As well.
Unless I'm just not doing it right. But let this be a warning to some of you as well, because if I just think back 5 years, 5 little years, right? Life was good, man. Life was so good. It was in a household,
the same for everyone.
2 good incomes coming in. We were taking 2 to 3 decent foreign holidays a year. Proper ones as well, you know, not messing about. Car hire and adventures. Just a few years ago, that was. And it just goes to show that if you're not careful, all of that can come crashing down pretty quickly. If you're one of these people, one of these lucky people to be in a big corporation with a good job, and I've said this to a few people I know lately, look after it, keep hold of it. You know, I know I'm saying get rid of your boss, but if you're in a secure role, secure place, and you know that you are, don't take that lightly. You know, you've got something special there. Those of us I've been flying by the seat of my pants for the last 20 years, somehow or other. I've managed to get into one job, get into another job, and sort of make them last between them the best part of 20 years somehow. How the hell?
But that works, first of all, only in a good economy. And at some point, moving jobs like every 2-3 years was actually better paid than sticking to one job, just because it was harder to get a raise if you weren't moving your job. When it comes to keeping your job, I recently had the discussion with a friend that was thinking about changing her job, and from a full-time position, decent money, yeah, a bit more stress than she would have liked, to swapping to a better paid job, zero certainty, like work security and 0-hour contracts and all of those things. I was like, do your math, make sure you really love that job, because the moment things go sour, you're the first one to get screwed over. And companies act like companies. They do not give a shit. If they need to cut costs, they're going to cut costs. If you're the newcomer or you're not an overperformer or so on, you're first on the line to disappear. That's why they keep on saying, like, make yourself undisposable.
How did I do that? But every time it was like, how long is this going to last? How long is this going to last? And eventually I was right. It didn't last. So if you've got one of those rock solid secure jobs and you know it is, make the most of it, really. Put the money away, bang it in your pension, do some good investments, lock it up in a high interest savings account, whatever it takes, you know. Put things away for the future, because you never know. You really do never know what's going to happen. I can tell you that now. I never saw this coming. And don't worry, just because I'm here in the graveyard doesn't mean I'm having any funny thoughts. Although I can imagine how, you know, some people, if they get to this stage and they're in a much, much worse place than me, I can sort of see how that can happen, you know. Poor buggers.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can see it too.
you must be thinking, is there an easier way? Is there a way out of this? I'm not saying anybody should ever think like that.
In the last few years, I kind of started to understand why some people end up in the park, let's say.
But I can see how some might have those sort of terrible thoughts. Look at that. All these headstones were kind of square, as in a line facing that way. And all these are at like 45 degrees angle facing that way. And I see, yeah, they're all Turkish names. Anyway, I'm trying for this not to be a sort of depressing video, to be honest.
I think it's a reality for
He
many,
says,
so I don't know. I
coming
don't
from a
think it's
graveyard.
that depressing.
Oh, Jesus. Right. I'm trying for this not to be a depressing video, despite the fact that I'm in a graveyard. I see there's still some humor in there somewhere. Yeah, he's still in there, he's still inside somehow. Thing is, shit happens, man. Jobs get lost, plugs get pulled when you least expect it. And it's pretty goddamn crap when it happens, I'm telling you now. You feel crap,
Yes.
You feel low, you feel worthless, you feel useless. And you feel, quite honestly, vulnerable and scared. Because I don't know what's going to happen. I'm pretty terrified. To be honest, my confidence has taken a massive hit. And I don't even know if I want to go back to it. And that's probably why. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm confused.
This guy deserves a like on his video just because of that. And let me know, did you ever go through something like this? Because I definitely, he's not the only one. I think this is like a massive understatement, but getting fired, losing your job, having to reinvent yourself, it's much harder the older you get, and the more responsibilities you have. It does put a massive strain on you and your well-being.
I'm lost. I'm at a crossroads in life once again. I'm so bloody tired of being in these life's crossroads. They're flipping exhausting. You know, you just want to just coast on through. I didn't carve out a career early on in life. I just sort of chanced my way through it, really. And there's this life biting me back and saying, you know, you should have picked something and stuck with it and done a boring job for all of your life.
Pretty much.
You know, I lived a hell of a life. It's been great. It's taken a few chances. And you got to take some risks, haven't you? Maybe that's it. Maybe I need to just take some chances and, I don't know, try something completely different. It doesn't help when you're a bit of an introvert, you know. I'm not the most outgoing. I'm not a salesman. I'm not that sort of guy. I don't know what I'm going to do yet.
He's really good on camera.
Watch the space. In case you're wondering, I do have a partner. She's amazing, very supportive. So that really helps.
Most don't.
It's a very, very, very confusing situation that I'm not going to go into here. God. Yeah. I'll skip that bit. Anyway, don't worry, there's no affairs or anything like that going on. It's all above board. How did you get out of this situation? How did you get yourself out of a really difficult spot? If you were in your 50s, particularly want to hear from you. Did you go from losing a good job suddenly to being out with nothing else? Did you feel worthless, useless? Did you feel like you were on the scrap heap? Were you one of those men that, you know, thought you were sorted and then suddenly to realize the rug was pulled from underneath you once again? How did you get out of that spot? Let me know. I'd love to know.
I'm still working on it.
Could do with a few pointers right now. So throw some comments down below if you've got any ideas or any tips to give me or words of wisdom, because this is pretty tough, I'll be honest. It feels a little different this time. And I tell you what, I've just realized something else. It's not only happened to me, it's happened to a good friend of mine, almost at exactly the same time. I think there's something really odd happening in this country. Or certainly around this year, things feel different. I can't put my finger on it.
The whole world is in shambles. That's what's happening. They're trying to get all of the inflation out. They're trying to get all of the liquidity out of the market. That basically means that there's screwing up companies as well. As long as a company is trying to get ready for a possible recession, which, yeah, eventually will come, but we don't know when, companies will start cutting. And they will start cutting with us.
It's really quite strange. There's a different feel about something that's going on in the country right now. I'm getting a different vibe. Have you got any ideas? Am I right? Do you feel the same thing? Do you feel that things have changed at the moment? Is something really different about the feel of the UK? Is it to do?
I'll tell you what, definitely most people seem more unhappy. Most people that I see don't smile that much anymore. You can definitely feel that the economy is slowing down and going down because you have more like people breaking into shops, people stealing from charity shops, people stealing from Tesco's, more violence, more gangs, less police protection, even though finally I started noticing more police activity in my neighborhood, which is amazing because we really needed that. Otherwise, everything would have went to shit.
With the Labour government? I ain't going there, I haven't got a clue. Anyway, let me know down below if you think there's anything different about the atmosphere of the country at the moment, because I think there is.
Just the sadness.
I'm going to leave it there, guys.
Sadness, desperation, and lack of money now.
Thank you for listening to my ramblings. If nothing else, maybe it'll help some of you. I don't know quite how it can do, but if nothing else, it might have helped me to have someone to talk to about this. You might not be there in person, but some of you will be listening, and some of you may be nodding along, going, yeah. I don't expect you to like and subscribe to this channel because it's not my main channel. It's a fun channel where I dump some of my thoughts and things like that. But what you can do, if you really want to help, you can go across to scuzzylondon.com. I'll put a link down below. Have a look at that stuff. That's me trying to build a proper channel and do it the right way, a different style, cycling in London and walking around the country. It's something different, but I'm hoping to get there with that. That's my main goal. If you can do anything with that, I'd be super grateful. Well, that's it, guys. That's it for now. Okay. I will see you on the next one sometime at some point.
Oh, yes.
Hopefully, with a lot better news. Who knows? I'll let you know.
Man, I really hope for his own sake and everyone else's sake that he doesn't get another job. He does reinvent himself as much as he wants. And hopefully we all get a better life experience. That would really help, wouldn't it? Okay. That being said, I am really tired after a long day of work, so time for me to head off. Sorry I didn't manage to check the post on X, but short and steady, Strategy announced that they're gonna Strategy, the company of Michael Saylor, has announced that they're gonna dilute their shareholders a bit more just so they can buy more Bitcoin. Perfect timing, because markets are dumb. Anything else? I don't know. Let's hope for the best anyway. Cool. Tired. Long day. Have to go get ready for tomorrow. No, for today morning. So I'll leave you and I'll see you tomorrow.